A new county coronavirus map shows several of our areas now shaded in red. Local leaders are responding tonight.
Greensboro taking the data seriously. The city is telling businesses about its enforcement plans and fines. How you play a role in holding people accountable.
Plus, a Triad woman reaches out to 2 Wants to Know her home overrun with rodents.
With multiple of them, they was just everywhere like they was having a party.
WFMY News 2 at 11 starts right now.
More changes in North Carolina's coronavirus response. The state health department updated its county alert system map. Many Triad counties now in red, including Guilford, a sign of critical community spread.
Governor Cooper also made some changes to the statewide mask mandate. We're tackling both subjects tonight, the new mask rules and why some counties went red.
Let's start in Greensboro. City leaders are telling businesses they will face punishment if they break the rules. The governor highlighted Greensboro's enforcement in his news conference today. He invited Mayor Nancy Vaughn to discuss her decision.
These businesses are businesses that we know have a history of compliance issues. Starting tomorrow, the city manager will have a broad cross-section of compliance teams. Just in the last 2 days, we've seen greater compliance.
The governor also revealed stricter mask rules. So how does all of this apply to you?
Where do the new rules apply and what's the process to enforce the old ones? WFMY News 2's Alma McCarty joins us live now in Greensboro to break it all down.
Governor Cooper announced stricter rules on face coverings across the state, and this comes as the city of Greensboro is getting the word out to businesses that they could be fined if they don't follow coronavirus restrictions. Wearing a face covering has been part of everyday life for many months, but Governor Cooper's latest executive order tightens the existing statewide mask requirement. He wants to make it clear masks must be worn whenever you're with people you don't live with, especially inside, even during strenuous exercise, which was previously an exception to the rule.
It's a bit different trying to work out with masks on, breathing heavy and sweating, and so it takes some getting used to, but I mean, it's what we have to do.
Carol Hall of Fearless Fitness in Greensboro says she's not sure how a mask requirement inside will impact the small number of clients who currently feel comfortable enough to train in studio.
Because everybody wants to stay safe, everybody wants to stay healthy, nobody wants to get sick. So we get it, we understand.
Stephen Kindler Jr., the owner of Planet Fitness gyms in the Triad, says though some members might not agree with the new executive order, it's important to obey the rules.
We understand the frustration, we get it, but we're here to, again, roll out those policies that, as Governor Cooper has outlined, and that allows our business to remain open.
Meantime, Greensboro rolled out its own rules with fines or temporary closures for businesses that disregard the capacity limits and mask requirement. City employees visited dozens of businesses since the city's emergency declaration went into effect Friday, explaining the consequences.
Our purpose and the mayor's purpose for this order was not to restrict businesses to the point that they were not able to, to be gainful, but to maintain safety through our city.
Right now, GPD and the fire department are handling compliance calls, but that will likely expand to other city departments like code enforcement. Businesses will get a warning first. After that, they could be fined $100 for every person over the capacity limits.
Alma, thank you. The city of Greensboro set up a tip line to file complaints. The number is 336-373-2064 if you see overcrowding or people not wearing masks inside businesses in Greensboro.
The state made some changes to the county alert map. This is the one from last week. You can see most of Triad counties here are shaded yellow or orange.
Now this is the map that came out earlier today. Can you spot the differences? It's a little difficult.
But let's see both of them now side by side. Can you see the difference? 2 major Triad counties are now in the red.
We are talking about Alamance County and Guilford County. So how did this happen?
WFMY News 2's Marissa Tansino looked at the data and heard what local leaders plan to do about it.
In just 1 week, the state map showing community spread in North Carolina went from this to this. A lot more orange and red here on the map. Guilford and Alamance County and the Triad were yellow last week. Now they're red with critical spread. And this is because we're seeing significant data increases in some counties. In Guilford County, it's one of them, 7.9% positivity rate last week. This week, that positivity rate has gone up to 8.8%, almost a full percentage increase there. Hospital impact was low last week. This week, it's been upgraded to high. Over in Alamance County, where there's also seeing a significant increase, the positivity rate there last week was 6.8%. This week, it's been upgraded to 8.8%, 2 full percentage points. Hospital impact was low last week. This week, it's high. This is some of the data that's prompting some Triad leaders to draft ordinances and legislation in hopes that they'll get them into effect soon to help stop the spread.
And that's alarming. And that's something that we can't sit idly by and do nothing.
Guilford County Commissioner Skip Alston says he's drafting legislation now to give the county health director the authority to fine businesses that don't comply with restrictions like the mask mandate. He's hoping it will pass when more Democrats are sworn onto the commission and have the majority on the board in December.
The last thing we want to do is a shutdown. But if people continue to ignore the ordinance, continue to do what they know is wrong as far as not refusing to wear a mask and also not washing their hands and social distancing, then they're asking for a shutdown.
Alamance County Interim Health Director Alexandra Rimmer wasn't available for an interview, but issued a statement saying they've seen numbers increase since October and they'll continue educating to keep the community safe. Burlington Mayor Ian Baltutis says he was surprised to see the sudden spike in Alamance County, but city leaders will continue to push the 3 W's.
We've been seeing generally good compliance, so that was a bit of a surprise to see us climb that quickly.
We also reached out to the Alamance County commissioners. One of them said it's too early to comment. As far as the others, we're still waiting to hear back.
A few other Triad counties changed colors on the map today. Yadkin and Surry counties both went red. Davidson County turned orange. The Davidson County Health Department sent us this statement in response. Residents have the opportunity to work together to lessen the impact on our county. Social distancing strategies used together aid in slowing the spread of COVID-19. We also spoke to officials at Surry County's Health Department. They told us they're starting to make plans with local leaders, schools, and law enforcement. They stressed the county does not want to move backward in its approach.
There were more long lines outside Cone Hospital today. Hundreds of people came to get tested before Thanksgiving. The lines lingered all day and into the night. Cone staff told us they can do about 800 tests a day at their Green Valley campus, but the demand is much higher than that.
Now we're averaging around 800 people a day. The demand is actually higher than that. A lot of times we're having to close the line down because the demand is so high and the traffic gets backed out up all the way to Battleground Avenue.
If you want to get tested at one of these sites, you have to register online.
A Cone Health doctor joined us live on the air today to answer some of your questions. First up, is it safe to gather together on Thanksgiving?
The people you live with are safe to be around, but we don't want you to visit. We don't want you to congregate. We don't want you to use this time like we normally do. We have to revise our approaches because the numbers are increasing every single day. And this is still a disease that takes lives. People die from this.
Next, why mask up in public but not at home?
We are saying wear your mask all the time when you're out of your house. The people you live with, you share spaces, you share utensils. And so the emphasis is keeping that space small, meaning you can take your mask off and live your normal life in your home because the people live with you. You share some of the same things. It's not the same as going to work in the break room and taking your mask off, even though you see them all the time. Because those people go home to a different set of people.
You can find the full interview on our website and also on the WFMY News 2 YouTube page.
This is probably the Black Friday scene you are used to seeing immediately after Thanksgiving. Long lines and big crowds in department stores, everyone clamoring for a great deal. Of course, it's going to look differently this year. So will the day after Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, look different as well? Sherry and Justin Lingefeld are preparing at their furniture store in Kernersville. They say focusing on local businesses is especially important this time around.
Small businesses are the livelihood of our community. For every dollar you spend at a local business, it truly goes straight back into your community through local people's payrolls or charities, school systems, you know.
You can find more information on Small Business Saturday here locally on our website. All right, Tim, I know this is the time of the newscast when we talk about the upcoming weather, but I just kind of want to go back to Saturday and how incredible it was and how different it is now.
Yeah, you like that 70 degrees, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe not quite that warm for a while, Chad, but we will be getting warmer by Thanksgiving. Right now, though, it's all about jacket weather. So let's tell you how cold it's going to be early tomorrow morning. It's already pretty cold in many areas. Take a look here. We have 40s in many of the cities. Some of the outlying areas are already dipping down into the upper 30s. 35 right now in Rural Hall, 40 in Winston-Salem. We already have 33 up in northern Rockingham County, and you see the temperatures dipping quickly pretty much all across our area. The winds are coming in out of the north. That's just a simple weather clue telling us that, yeah, that air is coming in from colder areas and moving right down into North Carolina. This is a temporary cool down, but you know, it's cold all the same, right around freezing early tomorrow morning. Some upper 20s in some of the coldest areas, low 30s elsewhere. So a chill tomorrow morning, but the afternoon, it won't be all that bad. We're in the low to mid 50s tomorrow. And these clouds that move in, they're generally high level clouds, the wispy ones that you can see through. Call for a high of 54 tomorrow. Of course, you can hold me to that for your Tuesday. Coming up, though, we're going to take a more detailed look at Thanksgiving. I do have rain in my forecast, but when it falls is important for your outdoor plans.
A major decision from the General Services Administration sets the stage to begin the transition of power to President-elect Joe Biden. Tonight, GSA Administrator Emily Murphy formally offered to start the process. President Donald Trump tweeted about it. Earlier tonight, he said, "We will keep up the good fight, and I believe we will prevail. Nonetheless, in the best interest of our country, I am recommending that Emily and her team do what needs to be done with regard to initial protocols." The decision comes hours after Michigan certified Biden's victory in the battleground state. Biden plans to announce more members of his cabinet tomorrow.
Meantime, the State Board of Elections will meet tomorrow to certify the results of the election. We know who won most of the races. As you know, President Trump won our state, Governor Cooper won re-election. Those will all be certified tomorrow. But for at least one race, there's more work to do. The state Supreme Court Chief Justice race. There's a recount underway in the race between Paul Newby and Sherry Beasley. The state won't certify that race until the recount is finished. It's not clear when that will happen.
New tonight, Jeopardy announces what comes next after Alex Trebek passed away earlier this month. The show says they'll do a series of interim guest hosts, starting with one of the all-time greats, Ken Jennings. The show's executive producer tweeted this earlier tonight. Alex believed in the importance of Jeopardy and always said that he wanted the show to go on after him. We will honor his legacy by continuing to produce the game he loved. Ken Jennings tweeted in response, "There will only ever be one of Alex Trebek, but I'm honored to be helping Jeopardy out with this in January." Alex Trebek hosted Jeopardy for decades, starting in 1984. He died after a long battle with pancreatic cancer. He was 80 years old. Production for new episodes begins at the end of the month. The first one airs on January 11th.
Your home is supposed to be the #1 place where you feel comfortable. Not for one Triad woman.
It just became infested with rats out of nowhere. I'm angry. I'm scared. Like, I was thinking about my kids.
Boy, you won't believe what the video that her home camera captured. How 2 Wants to Know helped her get some relief from the rats. Plus, Jamestown considers a controversial rezoning proposal. How the town plans to proceed. Next.